डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब आंबेडकर ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी.
Hello friend, good day. I am Dr. Ajay Patel, and in this session we are going to discuss regarding the security framework. Because friend, as we know, individual organization can perform effort to deal or to prevent with the cyber attacks, but these efforts are not enough until particular organization receive the shield or receives the cover of the government for the cyber security. So in the same line, the government of India, because the governments of various companies, the government of the various countries have defined the information technology rules or cyber law rules or the rules regarding prevention of cyber crime. In the same line, the government of India has also defined the Information Technology Act 2000 and the amendment in the same act in 2008. So, the Information Technology Amendment Bill 2008 amended with a number of sections that were related to the digital data, electronic devices and cyber crimes. Friend, we will discuss the Indian IT Act in a detail in the last block, but for here it is for your understanding that Government of India has defined a legal framework in which there are various rules and penalties regarding the violation of rules have been defined, and these rules are applicable for each and every citizen of India or any organization which is functioning into the geographical boundaries of the India. So, this is the IT Act. In IT Act, government has provide certain kind of protection or define the various kind of protection for the citizen of India, or we can say the netizens of the India, in terms of digital data, in terms of electronic devices protection and cyber crimes. Parallelly, government has also approved a framework to enhance the security in Indian cyberspace for the cyber security, with the National Security Council Secretariat functioning as the nodal agency. Now, the National Security Council was formed during the rule of Indian Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and the National Security Council was formed with the intention to provide or to the coordination among the security, homeland security and defense agencies, and providing getting the input from the various agencies and conveying this feedback to the Prime Minister, and overall monitoring of security matters of India. Now, National Security Council is also responsible to deal with the cyber security related issue as main authority or the final authority for the security policy, cyber security policy. The National Cyber Security Policy 2013 was developed to build secure and resilient cyberspace for Indian citizens and businesses. So, next, Indian Computer Emergency Response Team is a responsible for incident response, including analysis, forecast, and alerts regarding the cybersecurity issues and breaches. Now, these are the bodies and the policies also there. Apart from these, we can say the bodies are like that Data Security Council, an independent body formed by the NASSCOM. The Data Security Council is working in the direction to provide the powerful security infrastructure for the netizen, through which the data misuse can be minimized or the data of the netizen can be protected. Various state police have formed the cyber crime cells, especially to deal with the cyber crime and to protect the state citizens. Again, various authorities like NASSCOM and Federation of means FICCI, they are also providing some guidelines or providing some arranging some awareness seminar to aware the small scale as well as medium scale industries regarding the possible cyber security related breaches. In a same line, because the policy is there and the compliance for the policy is also need to be defined. So, for the cyber security compliance, we can say the cyber security compliance, for example, because government has mentioned, even government is also provides the data protection, and we will discuss all those things into the last block. But in the same line, government has mentioned certain compliance mechanism for the institution to protect the customer data, to protect the cyberspace. So, the most important, because as we know, the finance is the most important thing for any country. So, to protect the cover from the possible cyber attacks, the government has provided the compliance framework to the bank through the Reserve Bank of India. The Reserve Bank of India is the central regulatory and monitoring authority for controlling operation of banks in India, and RBI has issued the multiple circulars in which these two are very important from the 2015-16 and 2018-19, and these are for the urban cooperative banks. So, first of all, the cyber security compliance, because the Reserve Bank has applied this policy on a mandatory basis for each and every urban cooperative banks, because of course the banks are free to operate, means they are free to define their policy, they are free to perform their business activities within a framework defined by the government. But in a nutshell, they are also responsible to maintain their customer interest also, because they are having the very various data of the customer, personal data of the customer, like customer Aadhaar card number, customer mobile ID, customer address. So they need to protect this kind of data, and it is the individual bank's responsibility. Again, customers are performing various kind of business transaction. The bank's customer, those who are involved in a large scale business, are performing number of transaction with the huge financial figure every day. So they need the protection in terms of data also. So it is the responsibility of particular organization or particular bank to protect all those data from the attackers, and for the same the RBI, Reserve Bank of India, has applied the compliance policy and make mandatory it for each and every organization. So what is the cyber security? So the cyber security policy is mandatory for each and every bank. In a previous session we discussed regarding the cyber security policy. Now this is why we discuss regarding the cyber security policy, because the Reserve Bank of India make mandatory for each and every bank to define the cyber security policy, to follow the cyber security policy. Then after, the current state of assessment. So as per the RBI security framework, each and every bank has to assess the current state. So current state assessment, that means current state security assessment, which involves an interactive workshop to assess your current and desired state. That means in a workshop you need to assess your current state, as well as you are also need to assess the desired state. That means which state you want to achieve. A security assessment that assess the current security landscape in your organization. Security assessment, that means assess the current security landscape. Current security landscape, that means the current security state in our organization need to be assessed. The recommendation for improvement, that means after the assessment of your current state, you will get this, or you will find the certain area of improvement in form of recommendation. Then after, the development of security roadmap based on business and technology initiative. So you need to define the security roadmap or development of security roadmap based on the business and technological initiative. Then after, CS, current state security assessment proposition. So organization level view of data security, control strength and weaknesses, understand business and technology risk, identify critical and necessary good to have controls. Then after, implementation and management of cyber security operation control. So the continuous surveillance is required. Continuous surveillance and real time analysis is also required, because it helps in taking faster action when attack comes from the outside. And new guidelines would require bank to implement 24/7 operation, real time based surveillance, because nowadays the banks are offering 24/7 operations in terms of money withdrawal as well as in terms of money deposit, because nowadays the customers are using the bank kiosk to deposit the money, as well as to print the passbook, or they are also using the ATM machines to withdraw the money on a 24/7 basis. So earlier days the scenario is like that. Bank hours are bank hours were like 10 to 6 or 9 to 5, and banks were working during these hours only. So withdrawal as well as depositing possible only during those hours. But nowadays the scenario is changed. Banks are working on a 24/7 basis. So the 24/7 real time surveillance based real time surveillance is required as part of SOC operation, security of control operation. Then after cyber crisis management plan, because RBI also insisted banks for the cyber crisis management plan which address the full life cycle of detection, response, containment and the recovery. That means we can say the detection phase, full life cycle, that means from the cyber crisis detected, then after how the team has responded, how the attacks contained and recovered. So CCMP, then after again cyber crime or CCMP should address the following four aspects like detection, response, recovery and containment. Banks need to take effective measures to prevent cybercrime attacks and to promptly detect any cyber intrusion so as to respond, recover and contain the fallout. We can say first of all detection phase is there, because based upon as we discussed the 24/7 surveillance systems are required. So with the help of 24/7 surveillance systems, bank IT or information security team can easily detect the attacks. Then after the detection, they need to understand the detection, they need to understand the attack pattern, they need to understand the possible losses or we can say the possible effects of the particular attack, in the sense how it could affect the bank or affect the IT setup. Then after the first step after the detection or the important step after the detection is to response. You need to respond as an information security person. You need to immediately respond and you need to possibly overcome from this attack. So the majority of function, because you can minimize the effect of the attack, so you need to respond in such a way. Then after containment, after the identification, the containment is also important. You need to segregate or you need to differentiate the affected systems or affected components of your IT setup, and then after you should go to make or you should restore the system which are not affected. So the non-affected system can function properly, and then after you should go with the recovery phase. Recovery phase contains the restoration of the affected system. So this is the recovery, that means data recovery, that means network state recovery, website recovery, mobile application recovery. So many activities can be carried out under the recovery phase. Now the national security policy, because as we discussed, RBI has issued the guideline mandatory procedure to cope up. Now as we discuss regarding the national security policy, because the national security policy completely reflects the government wishes or government's direction. That means how government taking these cyber security problems importantly. So the the National Cyber Security Policy 2013 provides the direction of governments in the direction of cyber security. So the first one is the setup of 24/7 National Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Center, we can say in NCIIPC, for obtaining strategic information regarding the threats to the ICT infrastructure, creating scenario for a response, resolution and crisis management through the effective, predictive, preventive, protective response and recovery actions. The next is creation of workforce for the workforce of the cyber security professional, domestic level cyber security professional, those who can deal with the cyber security related issues. Then after, provision for fiscal scheme incentive to encourage entitles to install, strengthen and upgrade the information infrastructure with the respect to the cyber security. Then after, designation of emergency response team as the national nodal agency to coordinate cyber security related matters and have the local CRT bodies to coordinate at the respective level. All organization to designate a CISO, Chief Information Security Officer, and allocate a security budget. Then after, the important aspects are use of open standards for security, the development of dynamic legal framework to address cyber security challenges. The national cyber security policy does not have any mention of the IT Act 2000. Encouragement of wider use of public key infrastructure for the government services, engagement of information security professional organization to assist e-governance initiative, establish Center for Excellence, Cyber Security Concept Labs for awareness and skills development through the public-private partnership. A common theme across all initiatives mentioned in this policy, apart from the common theme of PPP across the cyber security initiatives, the policy frequently mentioned of developing an infrastructure for evaluating and certifying trustworthy ICT security products. So, this is the national cyber security policy, and if these are the main points of the national cyber security policy 2013, but if we look closely, it clearly indicates that the government of India is keen interested to strengthen the cyber infrastructure or to provide the secure cyberspace to the citizen of India. Government also focused or government is also focusing to prepare the skilled manpower, the skilled power who can deal with the cyber attacks. The government is also in plan to encouragement of the public key infrastructure. Public key, that means the concept is like public key and private key. Public key, that means an infrastructure through which the citizen of India can access the government services based on the certain kind of authentication. Then after, to encourage or to feel the importance of the cyber security information security professionals and organization. Government is also encouraging the public private proprietorship, so to each and every stakeholder of the country can feel the importance and can play the important role. Then after, government is also in plan to uh, promote the open source standards for the cyber security. That means we can say the unique UPI, unique payment procedure. That means unique payment initiative. So this is the initiative through which every Indian citizen can perform the financial transaction. The bank is not concerned. That means whether the bank which you are for which bank you are the using online banking is not concerned. Anytime means on which time, because the UPI services are available on a 24 by 7 purpose. So the government is also encouraging this kind of open standards. Then after, dynamic legal framework to address the cyber security challenges. That means a legal framework apart from the Indian IT Act, because the Indian IT Act is there, but how to minimize, because the law knowledge of the law is very limited among the citizen. So government of India is also uh, ensure through the cyber security policy that they will provide the dynamic legal framework to the cyber security challenges. That means because law is there, but the victim, in general, what happens? The victim is the common man, so he does not know how to respond this kind of crime, uh, or how to react in this kind of situation. But through the integration of various government platforms or government and private platforms, once if you have report the cyber crime, the government extend the help, like account freezing for if for example, if you are victim of credit card fraud. That means your credit card identity or your credit card credentials have been compromised, and some attackers have transferred or have performed some financial transaction by using your credit card. At that time, you need to register the complaint in a cybercrime police station. Then after, government has also provided or has set up 24 by 7 the cyber response cell, so the victim of the cyber crime can respond for this kind of attack. And in a response, the government also provides the facility like the credit card block of the credit card, so through which the same credit card no one can perform more transaction. Then after, immediate circulation of this kind of fraud to the to all the stakeholders, so the possible future misuse of this stuff or these kind of accounts can be restricted. So all these kind of dynamic legal framework, government is trying to develop dynamic legal framework in this way to address the cyber security challenges. And of course, the most important thing is computer emergency response team. the formation and the empowerment to the CERT, Computer Emergency Response Team, and of course is a national level nodal agency to designate it as a national nodal agency to deal with all these kind of cyber security related matters. And this kind of empowerment is also important or required, and the formation of local or state level CRT bodies are also clearly mentioned into the national cyber security policy. Then after, the next thing, the government will ask all the organization and will encourage all the organization to create the post of cyber chief information security officer. Now these the job role of the CISO is completely different from the chief technical officer, because the chief technical officer is looking for the IT setup, but the CISO will look the complete CISO will look regarding the complete information security related matters. Now the information security related matters, that means the CISO will take care regarding the protection of IT resources and regarding the legal compliance for the IT practices of the organization, and he is also responsible for the legal initiative of against the attacker. So all these are the job role of chief information security officer, and government will encourage the organization to designate the chief information security officer and allocate a separate fund, because as we know, the security, any organization is for any organization, the security is not a big concern, or the government organization feels that they are far away from the cyber attack, because generally the misconception is like that they are having the latest antivirus software, they are also having the latest intrusion prevention systems, their network is also properly configured. Now they are secured. But this is the misconception for each and every organization, because each and every day new threats are evolving, the attack patterns are changing. So the static resources or deployment of the static resources will not deal with the new kind of threats or the threats which might evolve each and every day basis. So the continuous process should be adopted for each and every organization, the continuous process in terms of cyber security policy life cycle, because as we discuss, the various steps or various phases of the cyber security have been identified. So as an organization, you need to adopt the cyber security policy, you have to define your own policy. Then after, you need to follow the each and every steps regarding the cyber security policy. Then only you can handle the policy effectively. Now if we can say, apart from this policy, the life cycle is also very important, and any professional, those who are responsible, those who are responsible to protect the organization's infrastructure must be sensitized regarding the policy. Then only we can provide the better cyberspace for the netizens of India. Okay, friend, thank you very much. I would like to conclude my discussion at here. In a next session, we will discuss some legal compliance and some cybersecurity policies for other countries also. Okay, friend, thank you very much.
स्वाध्यायः